Warning: some of the content shown in this video may be sensitive to some viewers. Discretion is advised. This is the story of the so-called Phantom of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is the story of Raymond Robinson. In South Park Township, Pennsylvania, down Piney Fork Road, lies an old abandoned railway tunnel. Abandoned since 1962, the tunnel itself was created in 1924 for the purpose of assisting coal miners. What it's probably most well known for nowadays, however, is being the home for one of the most famous ghosts ever to haunt the United States. Known by several different names, such as the Green Man or Charlie No Face, this tunnel was said to be its home. The legends told of an electrical worker for the mine who died after a fatal electrocution, though other legends do exist with varying degrees of origin and intent of the apparition. The most common legend tells of a faceless, glowing green man who patrols the road at night and slinks back into the tunnel. People say that if you went to the tunnels at night, turned off your lights, and called out for him to respond, he would electrocute your car, making it difficult to escape as your car would stall or stop working altogether, at which point the ghost would do something. Various versions of the story exist. Now, if this is all sounding a bit ridiculous, well, that's because it is. The truth behind the story of the Green Man begins on October 29th, 1910, the birth date of this man, Raymond Robinson. In 1918, Raymond was horribly disfigured when he climbed a train car bridge and accidentally snagged himself on a power line which sent over 20,000 volts of electricity through his body. Raymond miraculously survived the incident, but not without permanent scarring. He had lost his eyes, his nose, his upper lip, one of his ears, and even his hand. Over the years, he was viciously bullied, called names such as the Zombie, and even assaulted for his appearance, and without his eyes, he could only hear the reactions of people who saw him, specifically the screams. As such, Raymond would often take long hikes at night along State Route 351, as the lack of light wouldn't bother him without a way to see, and he would do this to minimize the people he came into contact with. Teenagers would be driving home after parties at night and coming across what they assumed to be a faceless ghost is what was assumed to be the origins of the legend. However, the green portion of the Green Man story is not as easy to point out an origin for. Some say it might be because he often wore green clothing while he was out at night, or that his skin did have some green tint, but nothing is certain. The legend of Raymond spread like wildfire across the country, and even by the 1960s, the legend had spread so far that people were actually causing traffic jams because so many came looking for him. Raymond took the so-called ghost hunts in stride, and would even pose for pictures in exchange for something like cigarettes or beer. Most people were nice to him, even though he still did get frightened reactions occasionally and was reportedly almost hit by several cars. But for the most part, he was beginning to see the kindness of strangers for the first time in years, ironically due to what caused him to be mocked and ridiculed for almost his entire life. It became a regular pastime to go out on 351 looking for Raymond, and this continued until his unfortunate passing in 1985. And it's hard to say for sure what caused this, but eventually, while the name Raymond Robinson has slowly died out, the legend of the Green Man never did. After a while, it seemed like the only thing that remained of Raymond Robinson was a ghost story filling kids and adults alike with fright, but what should remain is the man himself, Raymond Robinson, a man who was unfortunately scarred for life only to survive in a world that didn't want to see him until he became the catalyst for an urban legend, a man who took his popularity in stride and had the best intentions in his life. This is what should be remembered more than a silly urban legend about a ghost stalking the streets of Pennsylvania. Raymond Robinson may be gone, but his name shouldn't be.